Well, what's up? We're here, week 9, NFL Sunday. It's your boy Donuts, and I'm with my boy, Detroit BC. What's good, my dude?
Not much. Yeah, that's me. It's been a weekend. Let's just say that. Weekend is normally a time to rest and relax. There's been a lot of trying to rest, bed rest, but here we are. That booster shot got me good. I know that's not the point of the video, so I'm ready to dig into the DFS in week 9. I can't believe how fast the season is going by.
Well, I'm sorry that you're slightly under the weather. I sent you a quick message in the private chat just to check something in the settings. Give that a quick look, my dude. All right, so week 9. Listen, my friends, it has been an interesting NFL season, and I talked about this earlier on Monday during the lineup study and lineup rewind stream. We've had probably 8 out of the 9 weeks where, and I'm gonna leave just like my targets list up here so we can kind of talk about a few of these as I go through here. We've had 8 or 9 weeks here of chalk exploding, just week after week, just the most optimal plays doing well. Cooper Kupp, constantly one of the top 3 or 4 owned wide receivers. And guess what? He literally is just not having a bad game. It is constant. The one week that Robert Woods was like 5.5, 5.5K, was like 28% ownership. Of course, what did he do? He had like 140 yards receiving. And it's been that all year. Jamar Chase, super high ownership for like 6 weeks, continues to pop off, right? And all of the running backs all season, no matter what their price have been, if they're higher owned, they've done well. It has been like that all season. And it's been one chalk big explosion after the next. And for people like myself who are contrarian at heart and really, especially specifically, I should say, for sports like MLB and NFL, where they're a little bit more volatile, there's a lot more value built into less things like touchdowns and home runs, as opposed to NBA, where you can be a little bit more optimal, not worry too much about ownership depending on your contest size, and you'll be okay. And NFL, it's the opposite, man. You're looking for those the leverage. You're leveraging ownership. You're looking for slightly lower owned plays. You're looking at price point pivots. Median projection of a guy. And I'm going to break this down real quick because I want people to have this in their mind this week, because I think this might be a week finally where we don't have mega chalk, and chalk might not hurt you the way it has been, because I don't think it's going to be too high on any given player. So let me break this down for anybody who's new to the Rise or Fall family, and anybody who's like, well, what's Mitch like to talk about? I love talking strategy. I talk shop more than I talk picks. So when you have 2 players, let's say they're both just about 8K in price tag. One player is projected for 22. Let's say player A is projected for 22. Player B projected for 20 points. All right, that's a median projection. Now, if player A with the slightly higher projection has an ownership of 22%, player B has an ownership of 8% at 20 points, that player B, honestly, is likely the better choice. Just straight up outright take away the rest of your lineup build, take away the contest you're selecting, and take away if they're involved in a stack. We're just talking outright, which is the better play. The guy who has 14% less ownership, that 22% owned player, probably one of the top 3 or 4 at his position this week based on a 22% ownership projection. That guy, even though he has a 2 less point projection on the week, is likely the better play. Remember, these projections are median projections, and while that's good, it doesn't need to be the end-all, be-all. You can find ways to look at that player A and say, wow, check this out. He's 22% owned at wide receiver. Well, maybe I'm going to leverage that and use his running back, who is projected for a 6% ownership, and I'm going to say that running back's about to pop off. That running back pops off. Guess what doesn't happen? That wide receiver's not having a ceiling game. And then maybe in that offense where that wide receiver's an 8% and the running back is 15, 20% owned, you're leveraging that situation by using the lower owned wide receiver. Kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone there. So I want you to keep that in mind while we're talking about picks and plays and strategies today, because that's going to be a key theme of where I am with my quarterbacks, my running backs, my wide receivers, my tight ends, my defense, and my general overall lineup building strategy today. Now, I think that we should honestly dive right in to the first game here on the Study Hub. And I'm going to bring this bad boy up, and I'm going to show people kind of how I go through looking at this on Sunday morning. I usually click this 1 p.m. slate, and I just drag it down to 425. and it will filter out the Monday, Sunday, and Thursday night primetime games. It gives us a nice 10,000-foot view of the slate itself. And then from here, I can click on game by game if I'd like, which I will. So I'm going to click Arizona and San Francisco, and these are slightly across the board from 1 to 4. I believe that's a 4 o'clock game. San Fran is currently favored, and I'll give one pick away today for free. MySparry.com up plus 31 units this season. Unbelievable 62% win rate. By the way, I sent out the NBA photo yesterday, and heck, if you ended up catching it, the MySparry moneyline picks went 6-0 yesterday. 6-0 yesterday in NBA. So I'm very excited. I think NBA should be live in a couple days here. All right, so let's go look at it. The Cardinals and 49ers. So Cardinals plus 3-point underdogs based on Vegas consensus. Sparry model had them at -8. So after 10,000 simulations of these two teams playing, the average outcome was the Cardinals winning by 8 points. I don't know if it has to do with Eli Mitchell and Debo Samuel, both, potentially labored or short snaps, whatever it might be for that team. But Cardinals on the road, 8-point favorites based on the Sparry model, which ended up being a grade A of a bet, I believe. So again, plus 31 units, up to you guys. Let's slide over to DFS. Chris, you kick it off in the DFS world, and I'll take it after that.
Sure. Hopefully, just to pull the curtain back, hopefully my audio is back where it should be. Very nice in your ears, in your headphones, and we go from there. In this game, I believe the point spread opened at about 46 points, and that was prior to the news that, Kyler Murray might not play. It's dipped down to 45, and can you believe this? The Arizona Cardinals are getting 3, and yeah, I can believe it because no Kyler Murray, and it looks like DeAndre Hopkins is not going to play here. But from a DFS perspective, I want to concentrate on San Francisco. Eli Mitchell, as you mentioned him on FanDuel, only $7,100, and on Draftkings, he looks to be only $5,800. While the Arizona Cardinals, in terms of their DVP, they're about 6th or 7th overall with opposing running backs. I think, Mitch, we could see, and correct me if I'm wrong, we could see just a little bit of suppressed ownership for Eli, even after what he's done or not done so far this season, because I believe Jeff Wilson Jr. is off the PUP list. I believe Jeff Wilson might be active today. I double check that right at 11:30 before, when the inactives and everything comes out here. But from a DFS perspective, there's not too much that I want to talk about here aside from, let's say, Rondale Moore, the young rookie kid. He's looked good. He just needs a little bit of an oomph, and I believe we'll get that today. Rondale Moore, $5,300 on FanDuel. Moore, only $4,200 on DraftKings here. If there's no Kyler Murray, no DeAndre Hopkins, then what's the point in playing Rondale Moore? Because I firmly believe that the volume is going to be there. You have James Conner, you have Chase Edmonds, who I think is also a nice play here. Within reason, mentioned him in bottom of the barrel. And then on the San Francisco side of things, again, what are we going to do? Jimmy G, Eli Mitchell, JaMychal Hasty. I want to focus briefly on Brandon Ayuk. Only $4,100 on DraftKings, and then on FanDuel, $5,500. Have we seen, I don't want to call it a resurgence, but he played well last week, and that's what everybody was looking for in terms of, he's alive. It was always Brandon Ayuk is better than Samuel, and that's been completely flipped on its head so far this season. So from a perspective, from a full game perspective, 10,000-foot view, as you called it here, nothing stack worthy in this one for me, Mitch. It's just little drips and drabs, and as I said, probably Rondale Moore, Eli Mitchell, and then if you want to sprinkle in some Brandon Ayuk here, I'm all good. I do have Arizona winning this game, putting up 31 points. You told me the Sparry model has Arizona winning by 8, and that's pretty close to what I have. I have Arizona winning this one 31 to around 24, 27, something along those lines. So again, nothing special, just a little bit of drips and drabs for the Arizona Cardinals in San Francisco.
Yeah, it's funny. So, I know Colt McCoy is starting today, potentially starting, right? I believe it's Colt. I'm all up in the NFL, the NBA world, as most people have seen me for the past 6 days doing NBA streams. I did a special about 75-minute NBA stream on Saturday. So I'm actually going to verify before I even say that that's a confirmed pick that I have, crossed all my T's and dotted all my I's with the model for this morning. I don't have the updated model. I didn't want to show the updated model that the members get. So I want to say, actually, the Thursday model when this was here had the Cardinals. I wonder if the updated model, if I were to refresh this page from hours ago, if the updated Sunday morning model would still have the Cardinals as favorites on MySparty.com. So I don't want to say it is, but I also don't want to refresh it and show what the finals are based on the medal, because I want the members to be able to have that. I always like to show the pre-one. So what I'll do is I'll show another pick here a little bit later, one where there might not be an injury like that I had forgotten about. So DFS perspective, I mean, Colt McCoy, if he is starting here, and I'm so immersed in the NBA world, I totally freaking forgot about this. Colt McCoy starting, I actually kind of like him at 4K min priced. He is $4,000. We've seen him in spot starts in the past do all right, and he's got a bevy of weapons to throw the football to. It's not like he's going out there and throwing for the Washington football team like he used to, where he'd go out there and just throw to a bunch of nobodies, right? I mean, he doesn't have that anymore. He actually has some weapons around him. And whether DeAndre Hopkins is out there or not, I don't care. I mean, still, Rondell Moore, could pepper him. And, Christian Kirk has been playing very well this year. AJ Green's still out there trotting around. He's got a couple pass-catching running backs in the backfield. And at 4K, honestly, you do not need much to happen for him to produce you a fine game. I mean, we saw Cooper Rush go out there and do all right for the Cowboys, getting a W a couple of weeks ago, last week. We saw Mike White go out there, Mike White, whatever his name was, go out there, throw 400 yards for the Jets. So listen, I mean, it's the NFL, and any given Sunday, these things can happen. And I don't want to look at this and say, oh, wow, San Francisco going to dominate this game. Eli Mitchell, can you put your money there with a guy with a questionable with rib injury? I believe Jeff Wilson was activated from the IR this week as well. So I think it's going to be a funky game. Really, the only thing I'm kind of looking at in this spot would be, some Colt McCoy stacks running back with Deebo Samuel. I believe there's also an issue with George Kittle. I think he's maybe doubtful today. And I got to check that news report. Was he doubtful? Did I miss that one this morning too? Believed George Kittle. There was a tweet about it. Let me see if I can find it. It was posted in Discord this morning. Let's see. George Kittle returns Sunday from IR, battling calf injury, will be on a pitch count. All right. So this team is just in shambles. Where can you put your money and invest into on the 49ers and feel confident? I just don't think I can. And from this game, again, I'm going to say it again. I actually really like Colt McCoy. I'm going to have to add him to my targets list, specifically on DraftKings at minimum price 4K. Yes, I'm there. And I like the cheap stacks. I mean, my goodness, if you use McCoy with a couple of these cheap wide receivers, I mean, you're looking at $13,000, maybe $14,000 invested into your stack. And you got another, $40,000, $36,000 to spend on the rest of your lineup. You're paying down at defense today anyways. And the rest of your lineup is loaded with studs. You can produce some type of secondary stack there and feel pretty good about your lineup with a lot of really high ceiling plays. So I'm actually going to circle back to that, maybe even go look at it inside the lineup building on the actual websites today. So that's intriguing. I'm totally intrigued as the wheel is spinning extremely fast right now as I'm just realizing Colt McCoy starting. Saints and Falcons, we got a divisional matchup. These are always a little bit tougher. We also have an interesting Trevor Siemian under center. We last saw him, I believe, with Denver. That was brutal. And I don't know if you're going to see any type of upgrade here for the Saints. Definitely not an upgrade over Jameis, who was not playing great as it stands. And this team just, kind of in shambles. I don't think we're going to see much out of Trevor Siemian. And I know he's 5.4K. People are actually talking about him a little bit this week. I'm not there. And on the other side of the ball, I don't really like anybody from Atlanta against the Saints defense, which has been really freaking good this year. They have been fantastic. When I go look at the game flow tab, nothing really stands out in this game that makes me feel confident or comfortable. Both these teams play very good defense for the most part. Atlanta's defense, by the way, over the last 3 or 4 weeks has been a top 15. They have been above average across the board. They're playing much better than the beginning of the year where they were getting shellacked. And I don't know who it was who came back, maybe Deion Jones at safety or somebody came back, and this team is just so much better on defense now. There's just no spot here where I want to attack or feel real good about either team. It's not like you can throw out Alvin Kamara and feel like he's going to be a great 25 touch play. You don't know how this offense is going to be running. Cordarrelle Patterson's starting to get priced up around the industry. He's maybe the one play I'm semi okay with. I believe he's still 6.3K on DraftKings. So I don't know about you, but this is kind of one of those games where, again, similar to Arizona, San Francisco, there's just not much there that I'm really investing into today. And there's other games and spots that I want to be.
Yeah, not much going on, as you said, and anything that stands out, it's all chalk, right? Alvin Kamara, Pitts, and we go from there. The only bummer here is that Russell Gage, if you look at, he was mentioned in bottom of the barrel, I believe. Russell Gage, $5,800 on FanDuel, only $4,900 on DraftKings. He saw a ton of snaps last week and put up a goose egg. He was targeted, I believe, 7 or 8 times, didn't catch a pass. I mean, what the heck? That doesn't make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside week 9, to think that you're getting over on folks with kind of a lower owned play in Russell Gage. But as I was alluding to, right, Cordell Patterson, Alvin Kamara, even Kyle Pitts, that's really all that I have in this game. And guess what? There's another million other people that are thinking the exact same as me. So there's no real edge to be gained here. Their price point is a little bit too rich for my blood, given the potential output or lack thereof. So to me, if I'm going to bet anything in this game, it would probably be the New Orleans Saints minus the 5.5 points here, and that's about it.
All right, man. Well, let's move on to a game that I actually do have interest in, and that's Buffalo and Jacksonville. And that's because I'm a big fan of my Bills, and I'm looking at the Bills today thinking team stacks galore. I want nothing to do with the Jacksonville side. News came out a couple hours ago about James Robinson potentially questionable at best today. Looks like they're preparing to play without him. They're going to give him the pregame treatment where they're going to let him test it out, see how he feels this morning, and go from there. But otherwise, I want nothing to do. I don't care if it is him or Carlos Hyde getting a full complimentary amount of snaps. I think the Bills go into Jacksonville today and absolutely dominate. And the Bills, minus 14.5-point road favorites. I think Sparry Model had them at minus 21 after 10K Sims. This looks like it could be a potential bloodbath. The Bills defense has been phenomenal this year. Jacksonville's offense has been terrible. And now they're going to be without their potential workhorse running back and with a quarterback who I think is going to struggle under pressure today, as he has struggled all year. The Bills have a top 5 pressure defense. This is going to be a bloodbath. I honestly think if the Bills offense is clicking, we're looking at like a 35-3 type game. I think it's going to be awful for DFS perspectives. If you try to do a game stack, my friend, I am looking at Bills team stacks, and I love the idea of tossing out Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs running, and Zack Moss this week. I think that is going to be a spot where you could look at a guy like Diggs who, is going to be, probably lower owned than he would have been in 2020 in a spot like this, because he's not scoring the touchdowns or getting the ceiling games that he was getting in 2020. But his price is reflecting that, and his price continues to dip lower and lower and lower. And specifically on FanDuel, my friends, if you guys like that FanDuel price of 7.6K, imagine how I feel about it. My goodness. I mean, I would have paid 8.5 in this spot. You can plug in Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs at 16.6K for that combo, and then have Zack Moss in there, 22.6K out of your salary, your 60K salary, and you've got a potential spot where maybe Allen throws a couple touchdowns to Diggs, Zack Moss gets a touchdown carry. He's greatly outsnapped Devin Singletary since returning from injury, I think in week 5, inside the red zone. It's like a crazy high percentage. I saw this tweet the other day. It was like 70% or something of the snaps inside the 20-yard line Zack Moss has been in on. So you have potential, if you plug those 3 in, to have guys here who could maybe soak up 3, 4, 5 of the team's touchdowns. So I think that's a really, really interesting team stack spot today. I'll be looking at going Allen, Diggs, and Zack Moss, maybe some type of combination of Allen, Moss, and then, Emmanuel Sanders. I'm just not too intrigued in really anybody else. Cole Beasley should pop off there at 5.4K, barring, being inactive or something like that. But at 5.4K in DraftKings, a fine option. But it's really the stack that I'm looking for to plug together. And I'm really liking Allen and Diggs, which I think will be an under-owned combination, and then plug in Zack Moss. And I really, really like that on FanDuel specifically. So that is certainly where I'm going with Buffalo and Jacksonville. I don't really like too much other than that out of this game. And I'm glad we're kind of knocking off some of these games where there's just not too much I like out of them, because we get them out of the way as we keep going. So, and then we've got some other games here where I think there's some phenomenal stacking opportunities. So we'll go there. While I'm waiting for my dude, Detroit Beastie, to get back on stream, I knew we've had it's been 9 weeks of pretty smooth streaming. Okay. 8 weeks of pretty smooth streaming. And then today, I couldn't get my stuff set up. We started stream late because my sound was totally jacked up. Beastie had some sound issues. Beastie just dropped from stream. We're having all sorts of weird things. Beastie had messaged me and said his internet went completely out. With the and because of that, of course, I wasn't prepared to dive in and start talking. Arizona, I was looking at on the side too. Kyler Murray is not completely ruled out. Sparry model has, by the way, so the Sparry model, when I did show that, had him at an A bet -8 road favorites. That's if Kyler Murray is in play. If Kyler Murray is out, which this was run earlier last night, actually, this was a last night run through and updated this morning based on Vegas odds. If Kyler Murray's ruled out, this is totally out of play. So be mindful of that. That was that one pick I gave. And of course, the one freaking pick had that in there. So again, man, we have had there he is. He's back. We have had the technical difficulties on my end, on his end, on Discord's end, on my internet's end, on my sound end, on Beastie's internet end. We had 8 weeks of smooth streams. And here it is. We hit that road bump, and hopefully we clear it with a little bit more smoothness here as we continue on. Beastie, you good? You ready to rock and roll again?
Yeah, it's been smooth sailing, and I know everybody knows where I'm at. I'm, in Michigan, right outside of Detroit, and there's some heavy winds here this morning, but I don't think that matters. I'm in a condo. Everything is underground. All the wires, everything is underground. I'm hardwired into the router, so I don't know what the heck's going on. Some things you can prep and prepare for, but nothing's like real time when you're live broadcasting. So I'm all good to go.
Yeah, it's been, I was just telling them while you dipped out, we've had, a really smooth 2 months of streams. And it's this morning has just kind of been clearing all these little hurdles on our end and the production side of things to get things up and running and live today, and then keep them going smoothly. So let's hit the ground running here. Cleveland and Cincinnati. This is, my friends, probably the first game out of the 4 that we've covered where I'm actually looking at doing some stacks. Honestly, some game stacks. I'm not talking just team stacks. I'm talking game stacks. Cleveland and Cincy. I really think there's an interesting spot here, specifically with Joe Burrow on the Cincinnati side hosting Cleveland. Listen, Cleveland without Odell Beckham in there this week, I like Jarvis Landry a lot, and I think he's a fine run back opportunity this week because he's so darn cheap. He has 5.1K on DraftKings, 5.9 on FanDuel. I feel like they're going to want to show, OBJ, listen, we're okay without you. Look at Jarvis out here. Feed him the ball 10, 12 times. I'm not a big narrative street guy, but I think that could potentially be in play. Bengals have struggled a little bit against slot wide receivers this year. And you've got, Joe Burrow lighting the world on fire again, starting to throw the football at a passing rate very similar to his first 9 starts in 2020. And he's responded with a multiple touchdown game in 4 straight weeks. And it's not like Cleveland defense is bad or anything, but I think that, since he's going to move the ball, it's going to be through the air. We've seen really ineffective running games from Joe Mixon for the last 5 weeks. I mean, it has been pretty bad. I mean, even just looking at his game logs, the yards per carry has been miserable. Total yards has been miserable. And when you go look at, Joe Burrow here and his yardage and his touchdowns here, you can see he's just doing so much better. Multiple touchdown passes, actually every single game this year. 3+ is what I was looking at in 3 straight games. So yes, is Cleveland a tough defense? Sure, they are. Cleveland's also on the road since he's at home and they can't run the football. So I'm liking the Cincy stack with any of the wide receivers. I didn't nominate any of them over the others. I think T. Higgins absolutely in play on DraftKings at 5.3, probably my preferred option over Jamar Chase. And on FanDuel, a site where, it's very touchdown dependent, Give me Jamar Chase with Joe Burrow, and then run it back with Jarvis Landry over there. CJ Uzma, I'm okay there on DraftKings at 3.9K as well. FanDuel 5.4K, a little bit harder pricing to swallow because the tight end position just a little bit flatter payout pricing, where you have like your elite guys around 6'2", 5'9" this week. So Uzma 5.4K and FanDuel really not the pricing that I want to pick there. We just lost Beastie again. Golly, friends, what a weird morning. It is what it is. I mean, this is life. We're out here just trying to do some quality free content for our communities and our followers. And listen, it's just been a tough morning. So I'm going to carry the torch without him until he returns. If he does return, he did message me. He said he's working on it. So I'm assuming we'll see him back. Maybe he just did a quick reboot. Poor guy, always having troubles. Not only does he not feel good this morning, he's under the weather. Now he's having internet issues. How unfortunate. Feel bad for the guy. Let's take a minute. There he is. He's back. Let's take a minute. Give him a second to get himself situated. Two things we should probably check out. The Sparry.com, mysparry.com, 10,000 Sims betting model. I will post the link right there. And then I'm going to slide over and grab the subscribe now link for teamriserfall.com, which we are using the study hub for this morning. A bunch of DFS pros got together, created a bunch of models, and went ahead and created content site with picks and player pools and all our stuff that we're doing. We give it to you every single slate for basically every single sport listed above. And hopefully you guys give it a look. If you do, you get $20 off to the optimizer software over here at fancycruncher.com. You get $20 per month to them. So go ahead and grab those two links if you want to check out what we do. And Beastie, my dude, you good?
I'm good. I don't know what the heck's going on. If it's the Wi-Fi is running, I'm hardlined in, and it just keeps it's not working as it should. So I'm back here. It's embarrassing. My apologies to you and everybody that's watching this live. If there's one thing I pride myself on, it's good audio and a strong internet connection.
Yeah, and you're struggling with both today. I hear you. Yeah, great. Listen, I'm gonna throw you up on the big screen. Let's get as much as we can from you real quick before maybe you get booted again. But we're gonna look at. I didn't get to hear from you for Buffalo and Jacksonville. Didn't get to hear from you for Cleveland and Cincinnati. So I'll throw them both back up on the study hub, my dude. Buffalo and Jacksonville. Where are you in this game?
Well, yeah, we'll go back to that one here. I know you're a big Buffalo Bills fan, or slappy. Some people take offense to that term, but that just means you love your team, and rightfully so. In this one, if you look at the Sparry model, I've been digging into Sparry a lot more. I'm using it to kind of place bets here, and I love it. I love it so much. And Buffalo's at Jacksonville, as you said, or as I said, the line opened at, I believe Jacksonville's getting 14.5 points, and the Sparry model was comfortable, giving Jacksonville like 21.5 points in this one. And I'm with you. I did hear you say this might be a bloodbath. I think it will be a bloodbath. Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer just not going how they thought. But on the Jacksonville side of things, everybody's just been so bummed out with Laviska Shenault. But to me, the move in this one, if you want a complete game stack, obviously it's going to be heavily in favor of the Buffalo Bills. But if you need a guy or maybe two from the Jacksonville side of things, look at Jamal Agnew. He's been a mainstay in bottom of the barrel. Agnew, $5,200 on FanDuel, only $4,300 on DraftKings. Now, look, I know what you're going to say. Agnew's kind of he's a gimmicky guy. Is he like a Swiss Army? I think there's a difference between gadget guy and Swiss Army knife. Gadget just means maybe one or two wild plays. A Swiss Army knife means there's like multiple, good plays in here. Screen passes, return yardage, reverses. I don't know, but as it stands now, Jacksonville is okay with kind of manufacturing plays for Agnew. This guy is an awesome kick returner, punt returner. He did it here in Detroit for a number of years, and now he's in Jacksonville catching those behind the line of scrimmage screen passes and pluck one player from the Jags this afternoon. And on the Buffalo Bills side of things, I mentioned again in bottom of the barrel, I reference that here and there because it is first and foremost on the bottom of the barrel, where at least what I'm doing here. And thank you for publishing that. But I mentioned what's his name? I mentioned Cole Beasley for the first time all season. Issues
Oh, man.
aside.
Okay, there he is.
I had to put my personal issues aside. It has nothing to do with his stance on his medical stuff. It's just I'm not a fan of Cole Beasley as a football player, and he's made me look stupid so far. 24th overall against defending wide receivers. You know, Jacksonville is $6,300 on FanDuel, only $5,400 on DraftKings. This guy is going to be targeted. What, Mitch? I mean, you could chime in 8, 9 times, maybe 7 is his floor here. So I look to sprinkle in Cole Beasley here. Emmanuel Sanders is another one. I think the idea of Josh Allen with Emmanuel Sanders. F.
He's back. He's out. He's back. He's out. He's back. BC, we can see you again, buddy. Take a deep breath. This guy's having a tough morning. I feel bad for him. I feel real bad for him. That is tough. Listen, my friends, I will point out the one Jamal Agnew pick. Jamal Agnew, 4.3K on DraftKings. Look at his snap rate. It's not like he's not getting snaps as of late. Last 3 games, 63%, 59%, 72% snap rate. And the touches have been there as well. The opportunities, 7 targets, 6 targets, and 12 targets. The fantasy points have followed 10.9, 12.8, 15.8 in the last 3 games. Legitimately doing exactly what we thought that Laviska Shenault would be doing this season, getting those underneath targets, getting, plays drawn up for him. And he's at the same exact price point. So Jamal Agnew, 4.3K. Maybe that is the run back option if you're doing a Buffalo Bills stack. We had already talked about doing team stacks today. Maybe having Jamal Agnew running it back on the other side is the move. Now, I'm going to give Beastie a second here because he prepares so much all week to get ready for this stream. He loves it. He loves getting on air. You guys know he loves, sitting there talking, getting on his soapbox. He's so darn good at it. Let's give him a minute to return. Here's what we're going to do. I want my boy to have a minute here. I'm going to go make some underdog fantasy slips here, and you guys can follow along, and we will do this to give him a minute to get back because I know he really wants to talk football. We were chatting about it even before he got on, and this is like his time, man. He really likes this. So here, I'm going to post this link in the YouTube chat. You guys can grab that. They actually boosted their promo. So if you use promo code Donuts, I'm going to say that one more time. Use promo code Donuts, and you grab that link right there in chat. They will give you a deposit match of $100. Now, what they'll do is as soon as you deposit your money, it's not like a slow drip or anything like that. No. They legitimately are just say, hey, John Doe deposited 50. Boom. Let's give him another 50. It goes right in your account. You can use it. You got to use it on the site itself. You can't just like deposit 50 and then withdraw the 100. It doesn't work like that. It's like underdog money, so it stays on there. So your first $50 that you play would basically be the money that they gave you. If you deposit 100, you'll have 200 to play with. The first 100 you use would be on the site. Do you understand how that works? I hope so. It's basically your standard deposit match around, but they boosted it to a hundo using promo code Donuts. So one of my favorite things to do, I don't have the time for this. I don't have the time to do the weekly drafts. And you know what? That's fine. That's totally okay because they offer something I think is so awesome for people like myself who don't have the time to fill their drafts and do a draft or sit there for a draft. They offer Pick'em. I have so much fun playing the Pick'ems here. They're basically putting together parlays. You get to pick based on their lines and put together a parlay of 3, a 6x, a 10x, or 20x return. So let's say I was like, oh, I love Damian Harris over. And let me show you here. So you could put your money in. If you pick one pick, you could just do a single pick and you just double your money. So $10 in would be a $10 return. Let's say you did 2 picks and I love Cole Beasley over 55.5. Okay, now, wow, 2 picks. Now I'm up to a 3 times ROI. And then maybe I loved, Matt Ryan over there as well. Well, now 3 picks would be a 6 times return. So $10 in, you return a $60 payout, so on and so forth. So we're going to put one together, and it's super fun to do this. I mean, you could put in a $50 one, just do like a 3 pick. So we'll do this live. I'm going to actually put one together. I think it's so freaking fun. So let's do it now. And let me remove these. And this will give Beastie a couple minutes to reset his router and all that good stuff. Feel bad for the guy. Again, promo code Donuts. Hey, I feel you, Alec. It's totally fun, man. Underdog has got to be one of the smoother software apps out there too for mobile. So let's do it. Let's take a peek. We'll look at some of these. And what I like about this, honestly, is you can kind of, meld your DFS, viewpoints with betting model and things like that, and just kind of meld them together like this one. Zack Moss, whom I absolutely love today. I do. I love him. 60.5 rushing receiving yards. You could go look at stats themselves and then go look at what a model says. And you're looking at this, you're looking, a guy who has struggled the last couple of weeks, but I am taking the last 2 years of data, looking at 60 yards and saying, I feel pretty good about this. But more importantly, I'm looking at his opportunity on the field here, where he's been on the field a much higher snap rate. Actually, let me bring up the study hub. I should be able to look at this one. Actually, no, I'm going down the rabbit hole. I don't want to do it that way. We're going to make this quicker. Josh Allen, total 326. Like, I love that one. Okay. So bang, I'm going to slap him in there. Josh Allen over 326 yards total. You go look at Josh Allen. You want to take a peek how he's been doing. And if it's not just being accrued in the passing yards, heck, he always has the opportunity to do it in the rushing yards. So 326 in a game where I think he's just going to go absolutely nuclear. He's one of my favorite plays on the slate this week for DFS. Yeah, I absolutely love Josh Allen over 326. Let's grab another one. Trevor Lawrence under 221. So staying in the same game, I've already said I think this is going to be a bloodbath. A quarterback who has been terrible against the pressure. Well, the Bills have one of the highest pressure rates in the NFL, and they can do so with a 4-man pass rush. It's wild. And they maybe don't even have James Robinson to help balance out this offense. So I go under Trevor Lawrence, and there we go. We've got a 2-pick parlay, and I've got over on Josh Allen, under on Trevor Lawrence. Let's add another one in here and see if we can just get this up to, let's try to get a 10x. I mean, I'm looking at the Trevor Siemian under 180, a spot where I just do not like him. But let's keep going. Let's see if we can find a better one, something that looks a little bit smoother. This is one I like. Bryan Edwards, 44.5 wide receiver receiving yards. We've got no rugs here. Let's take a peek at Bryan Edwards as of late. I'm going to go click on the Raiders. Look at his snap rate. Snaps 76, 77, 89% over the last 3 weeks. Targets 6, 4, and 4. You got to think he maybe has another target or two coming his way. Let's see. Bryan Edwards, how many receiving yards have you had as of late? 43, 67, 22, 89, 40, 81. That's a good line. That's a tough line. 44.5. I mean, where are you guys on this one? I love Allen every week, right? I mean, I'm basically just what is Josh Allen's total yards line? I'm taking the over every single week, man. I can't help myself. I don't like to invest into players like that. That's the other thing. Cousins 270.5 passing yards against Baltimore. That's an interesting one. Lamar 317 total against Minnesota. Maybe that's the play. I mean, he's cleared that every week but 1 week. The huge win. Oh my gosh. It's a free square. There's 1 week this year he hasn't had over 317 total yards. Okay. Thank you. Let's see if there's any other standouts here that just look like free squares. CeeDee Lamb, questionable today. What about Zeke here? 101 total yards. Let's take a peek. I guess he's been under that a couple times. He's been over that every week but week 1 and last week against Minnesota. 101 yards. Denver defense. Let's go look at Denver defense real quick. Put all defenses in. I just want to take a larger 10,000-foot view here. Denver defense giving up 100 yards rushing per game, and to opposing running backs, They've been decent. Giving up 17.2 points per game. That's a nice line, though. 101 combined for Zeke. Amari Cooper, 63.5 is intriguing, especially if you think CeeDee Lamb's going to miss. Dalton Schultz is interesting at 44.5, to be honest. Blake Jarwin, I believe, was put on the IR this week. I mean, this is a guy who was doing great. Jarwin came back last week, didn't get there. 44.5. Let's go Schultz, man. Let's do it. 44.5. And then I'm actually going to take a look at Amari Cooper as well. So he's at more than 55, 4 straight. And if CD is out, 63.5 receiving yards. That's a tough line. I'm going over a Schultz, though. Take one quick peek at Trevor Lawrence. Man, even in some of these blowouts, he's thrown up some yards. Let's remove him. I actually feel phenomenal about these ones. I mean, actually, if you don't want to be a homer here and you didn't want Josh Allen, I think you could probably remove Josh Allen. And these two right here, I mean, they seem pretty solid. That's fun to talk about. I'll tell you that. They're fun to make too. Oh, there it is. That's my pickup slip. If you want the slip, you guys can open it up. And I think if you use the link I just posted in the chat, it opens it up to this and allows you to try to pick it because it invites people to make the same picks as you. So if you use that link, I think it opens it up like this for you inside Underdog, although I've never done it yet. So you guys can try that out if you'd like. Again, promo code Donuts. Hope you enjoyed it. And let's see if we can win some money together. You guys can tail that if you want. I don't care. That was just for fun. I feel solid about those two more than all the other ones that I talked about. And all right, let's get back to DFS. And we're gonna go on without my boy Beastie until he makes it back. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the main slate here. We've got Denver and Dallas, and we might as well talk about it. CeeDee Lamb, questionable. Going to go through game time decision protocol type stuff in the pregame. So let's pay attention to news. Maybe if you guys see it while I am live today, it is, I believe, a 1 o'clock game as well. So we're going to get news about it at an appropriate time, which will allow us to adjust accordingly. And if CeeDee Lamb is out today, I actually think Cedric Wilson's going to be one of those guys I'm looking at a little bit today. He has 3.6K on DraftKings, 5.3 on FanDuel, $13 over on Yahoo. And you could plug in Cedric Wilson at 3.6. You can plug in Dalton Schultz at 4.8K and Amari Cooper at 5.7K on DraftKings. I mean, that is a phenomenal priced value stack, in my opinion, barring no CeeDee Lamb. So you could really, really feel solid about your stack there. Save yourself a ton of money. I mean, you're plugging in Dak at 6.9K and Amari at 5.7. I think Amari immediately becomes one of the best cash game plays, probably a cash lock and load on DraftKings at 5.7. If CeeDee Lamb is out, and he may be already a cash lock for the day at 5.7, kind of that, T. Higgins type opportunity at 5.3, but just a higher ceiling, in my opinion. So Amari Cooper, 5.7K on DraftKings, maybe just a plug and play option as it stands. And if CD is out, absolutely. So you could plug Dak, Amari, that is 12.6K. And then Dalton Schultz, 16.6, 17.4K for that three-player stack. And then on the opposite side, my goodness, run it back with Cortland Sutton and be happy. Just be happy. He's going to be probably matched up against, Trayvon Diggs. Stefon Diggs is his brother or cousin. He's been phenomenal, right? Making all these pick sixes. He's got all sorts of huge highlights this season, 7, 8 interceptions, like 4 touchdowns, crazy. But you know what he does in between all of those? He gives up massive plays because he is one of those ball hawks. He's a very aggressive ball hawk, but those types of guys we've seen over the last, decade or so of this type of football where quarterbacks are chucking the football over the yard is they make huge splash plays, but they also give them up. And last week or 2 weeks ago, you saw him have a a 60-yard pick six, gave the Cowboys the lead. The very first play of the next possession, the final 3 minutes of the football game, gives up a 75-yard touchdown run, a 75-yard touchdown catch because he jumped a route. So it's his brother. Awesome. No wonder he has such good hands, man. So I love Courtland Sutton. You could run him back at 5'9". He may not have 10 catches. Maybe Diggs is going to keep him held in check to an extent over the course of 60 minutes, but he's going to give up a big play or two. I mean, Courtland Sutton could have 4 catches for $130 and a touchdown or two today, and no one would bat their eye. Like, this could totally happen. And you already had a stack that was in there at 17.6. You can plug this stack in there, total 23.5K, have a nice 4-player game stack and accrue all sorts of value. And because they're so darn cheap, that 4-player game stack, you can plug in a cheap tight defense who there's one we're going to cover a little bit later at 2.3K. All of a sudden, you spend 26K total for 5 players. You have so much money left over for your final 4 roster spots, a couple of running backs, a wide receiver, and a flex, and you have an opportunity to go absolutely nuclear. And then listen, you could even plug in Cedric Wilson in that spot because he's so darn cheap and still probably make things work. So I like this game a lot. I actually like Denver on the other side of it. Thank you. I appreciate anytime people post this stuff while I am streaming. So I actually like the Denver side of the football as well. Teddy B, Courtland Sutton. Everyone's talking about Albert OK. I'm just going to call him OK because I can't do the last name. I haven't heard it pronounced. 2.6K on DraftKings. Should run a high amount of snaps today, and you can plug him in. So it's like there are so many ways to stack and target and build this game up. And when I go look at the stacks tool today and I highlight Denver and Dallas with my super slow internet as well, I'm going to show you a few of these stacks today. They look phenomenal and they're very highly rated. Let me show you some large ones because I think this is actually a game where I am looking to do like 5-player game stacks, 4-player game stacks. I'm not looking at 3. I'm not looking at small. I think this is a spot where you need to stack it up big time, man. So here's one, and we just kind of talked about it. Let's find we've got Amari Schultz Sultan. Hey, there it is. Oh, shoot. Check it out. So looking at the value ranking. So I was just randomly talking about it. It's the second highest value rank stack, the 4th highest rated stack, and the target rank for GPPs, which is a phenomenal metric that we use, 4th. Whoa, this is phenomenal. That's the Dak, Amari, Schultz, Sutton, and Albert. Okay. I wish I knew how to say his name. And look at the total. So it uses the total ownership, 28%. Not bad at all. Uses 43% of the cap. Average salary, 5.1. Wow. I love this. So listen, I'm telling you right now, if I'm making a single lineup today, just a single lineup, I potentially am starting there. Let me go look at their Yahoo stuff. Okay. I love me some Yahoo. DFS, Yahoo Sports. Why is my screen small? $1 million baller today. Ooh. I know I get sidetracked. This is what I do. If you have never watched my streams in the past, welcome to the stream. Hit the like button, hit the sub button, all that good stuff. I go down the rabbit hole. I will talk about something. My mind goes there, and I'm just going to follow it wherever it goes. And right now, I have all the intentions in the world of building like a phenomenal winning lineup right here centered around this game. So I'm going to click Denver and Dallas first. So Teddy B at $24 at Dallas, Dak at $33. Let's look at the other pieces to this puzzle here before we start making picks. Sutton's 18. Ooh, baby. How many targets did he get last week in his return? 4. Okay, $20. All right, let's check out. Schultz is 16. Albert is 10. I mean, you got to plug him in. And then it takes Schultz out. I don't like that. $16. That's a little high. Think I go Dak, Amari. Yeah, I can't go both of them. It's got to be one of them. I actually really like the start of this lineup right here. Just a 4-player stack on Yahoo. I don't like the pricing enough at the rest of the players to plug in a stack. Actually, so last week, Alkuwe Banam. Okay, Elber Alkuwe Banam. Boom. I love that. Yo, what's up, Jared? Good to see you, man. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, we'll do Monkey Knife Fight soon. So last week, if you guys follow along with my placeholder, which I had made, the placeholder itself went absolutely bonkers. Had I left it in there, I didn't, of course, because it was my placeholder for $800 in lineups. I had edited all of them. I did my CSV file. The placeholder absolutely erupted. My stack itself had caught a total of 5 touchdowns in week 8. I'm so dumb. I should have left it. So this week, what I'm going to do is I make my placeholder, and I'm going to leave the placeholder in there for a single entry for sure, because whatever led me there on stream was good enough at the time to make sure it should have been there during the week itself. So, oops, I freaking shot myself in the foot last week doing that. All right, let's move on. Love this game, though. Green Bay and KC. So we've got Jordan Love under center today. Not entirely sure what you plan on doing, but what I plan on doing is playing this game with kid gloves. Honestly, I hate spots like this. It's a tough one. Like, you don't know what you're going to get out of Jordan Love, but I will say this: he looked okay during the preseason. For whatever it's worth, the Jordan Love experience that we have seen so far was not too shabby. And I don't think he comes in and he produces Aaron Rodgers numbers. I don't think Davante Adams gets, the upside of 15, 20 targets that we've seen him have in the past from Rodgers. But I do think that Jordan Love can come in here and can keep this offense afloat to an extent to where I think that KC might still have to keep their foot on the gas. Now, what does that look like? Not good as of late. This team has been struggling immensely. Patrick Mahomes has had, I believe, 1 touchdown pass in his last 2 weeks. Yep, 1 touchdown pass. He's getting sacked an insane amount of times as of late. He's fumbling the football, 5 fumbles in the last 4 games, sacked 2 or more times in 4 straight, and he's thrown a freaking interception in all but week 1 this season. He has just not been the same. He's thrown over 300 yards just once since week 2. He's thrown the football 48, 47, and 54 times in 3 of the last 4, and still not accumulated big numbers. The team is not scoring. They had 20, 31, 3, and 20. So what does it look like today against Green Bay? I'm not too sure it's anything special on either side of the football. And unfortunately, when you look at the prices, everybody's kind of priced as if everything's clicking on all cylinders on both sides of the football. So you can't really feel too confident in Darrell Williams if Derek Gore starts stealing work from him. Travis Kelce has not looked good over this stretch of football with Patrick Mahomes. Mahomie at 7-8 on DraftKings, 8-5 on FanDuel has not looked good at all either, even though he's still priced as if he is popping off. Jordan Love has listen, it's like, do you want to use him at 4-4? A little bit on DraftKings, but what do you do though, right? It's like, you like the price tag of 4-4, very similar to what we did with, if Colt McCoy ends up starting, if Kyler Murray ends up being out, yeah, you like the price tag, but everybody else is kind of priced as if it's Aaron Rodgers under center. It's like you could plug in Jordan Love and Davante Adams, and I don't know, do you still feel good about it? Not really, because Davante Adams is priced as if Aaron Rodgers is in the game. And then KC on the other side, if you're using Jordan Love with Davante, or Jordan Love and Aaron Jones, maybe a bunch of dump offs today because he's under pressure, and then you're running back in KC, who do you feel good about? Is it Tyreek Hill only? Maybe that's the one and only stack I feel interested in, and that's Jordan Love, Aaron Jones, and Tyreek Hill as a 3-player game stack. And that's about it. That's a weird weird game to be stacking. I don't feel good about it. And I guess that's probably about as far as I can go in that game itself. And if you're looking at DraftKings or Yahoo, the prices over here on this game, they're astronomical. I can't stand them. I think they're terrible pricing. Devontae Adams was $38. He's almost $40. Everyone's priced up. Devontae's 38, Hill's 30. The running backs 30 for Jones. Darrell at $14, I guess, is in play. Jordan Love is 20. Mahomes 38. Not really interested in either. Kelsey is $29 still. It's like nothing here looks good. I will say this though. I've been saying regression to the mean for KC for a couple of weeks now. Is this the week? Finally, I guess I don't need the headset if I'm not talking to anybody anymore. Is this the week that KC gets it going again, gets the ball rolling, hits the ground running for once? It's been since week 3, really, since this offense has looked in sync. Maybe this is it. And if this is the week that they do pop off, you're going to get them at lower ownership for once. So I will say that if you are interested in KC, I think this is the week of playing them. I think a lot of people, the ownership's going to be down on the team itself across the board. You can see our projected ownerships much lower. KC ownership on defense, 16%. But look at, Tyreek Hill, 21% on DraftKings. Mahomes, 7.5. Kelsey, 7.7. Darrell Williams, 7.1. Like none of these guys are highly projected ownership. Same thing on FanDuel. Really, the only guy is Tyreek Hill. So there are some opportunities here to use some of these elite players in spots where their ownership is down. And if they do bounce back, you'll have an opportunity to absolutely erupt at a lower ownership. So let's slide over Houston and Miami. We'll finish these 2 games here. Then I'll do a little bit of monkey knife fight for you. And we'll see if we can make some money together over there. Houston to Miami. So we've been talking about spots today where I feel like, you got some team stack opportunities, some spots where you got game stack opportunities, and some where I'm just off the game itself. Well, I actually think there is an interesting spot today where you could go with a very specific stack. Tua, Jalen, Gesicki. If you want, you can run him back on the other side with, where'd he go? What's his price tag? Brandon Cooks, 6.1K. So you could run out a very cheap stack in Tua, Waddle, and Gesicki. There's not going to be Devontae Parker today. Maybe some targets opened up for these two. Waddle's been getting a bunch of targets this year. Gesicki's done very well this year. I like Gesicki's price tag at 4.9. I like Waddle's at 5.6. I think that's an interesting spot. Listen, if this team does hit their team applied total, I believe it's 26 points this week. Miami total. Let's check. 26 points. Yep. Vegas consensus at 26 points this week. If they do hit their total, you're going to be happy there because I don't think it's going to be Myles Gaskins in the running game. So I think it's Tua is going to be throwing the ball a ton. This team can't run the football, which is why we continue to see Tua throw it 1 billion times per game. Look, there's 3 games coming back this year, 47, 40, and 39 pass attempts. They can't run the football. Because of all those pass attempts, we continue to see Waddle 13, 8, and 12 targets in his 3 games. And Gesicki in his 3 games with Tua, it's at 9, 8, and 4 targets. I like that 3-player stack. And if you run it back with Brandon Cooks on the other side at 6.1K, let me make sure I add him at 6.1. Guys at 13, 7, and 6. That's a really interesting stack. Let's take a look at what they are on Yahoo. Should be very affordable. Tua, $26. I mean, that's a great price tag, in fact. Cooks, 18. Waddle, 18. And Gesicki, 22. He's really the only one I don't feel good about there. But golly, the rest of them stack up real nice. And if you wondered why I liked this stack so much, the total of this stack, this was $117 left over from this 4-player stack here. Check this out. Let me add these up real quick. So 18, 36, 58, 78, $84. So this stack leaves you with 117. That Houston Miami stack leaves you with $116 left. So they're the same exact budget, but I feel like I have this trio here, which has a much higher ceiling. This trio here has a much higher ceiling than the other trio of Tua, Waddle, Gesicki, and Brandon Cooks. I think all four of them, honestly. So that's kind of why I like this, and this is where I am right now, because I just think that group right here is just such a higher ceiling for the same total budget. Not on either running backs. I don't care that Mark Ingram is gone. Don't care about David Johnson, Rex Burkhead, Philip Lindsay. Pass. Let's look at the Chargers and the Eagles today. I'm sorting here. If you click the sort button on team and then hold the shift button while you're sorting Draftkings, or is it? Sorry, hold on. Control button. There you go. Hold the control button. What it does is it sorts them by their price and by their team. So I can see, hey, Philly's price. This is team for Philly, and this is the price tag descends from 6-7. So, this is a spot where I am team stacking and game stacking. Thank you very much, CG. I appreciate you, man. And this is a spot where I'm doing game stacks today. I like the pricing on both sides of the football on certain players. Mike Williams, I think, is going to be super low owned today. His price is up as if he's still popping off. And because his ownership is low against Philly, who I think that, he can get over the top on. Yeah, I like him a lot today. Austin Eckler, 7.9K on DraftKings. Yes, please. Always that PPR equity is phenomenal. Ownership at 9K, 15% on FanDuel actually puts him in play a little bit for me. I'm going to go big screen here so I can take a sip of my coffee while I'm talking. Devonta Smith, 5.2 on DraftKings, certainly in play, 5.8 on FanDuel, but where I love him the most, $12 on Yahoo. I keep talking about that because there's a really, really nice tournament over there today. So if you go look at this, $12 for Devonta Smith. And, it's a guy who has over 100-yard upside any given week. There it is, 100 yards, touchdown. He's not catching the touchdowns, but they're going to come sooner or later. Golly, you've seen this kid run routes out there, and maybe it's just Jalen Hurts can't hit him running these beautiful routes. But a guy like Devonta Smith, look how much money I have left over. If I plug in like a defense now, a really cheap defense, and there's a lot of really, really good ones over there. You could plug in, let's pick a cheap defense. By Miami, $14 against Houston. Carolina, 17. Carolina's been phenomenal this year. Phenomenal. Playing great defense. Just pay up for the Bills. Heck, you got the money for it. KC, $11. You could eat the chalk against Jordan Love. Look at the money we have left over. $31 per player. You get the pick of the litter here. Oh, man, I'm enjoying this immensely. So I've got myself a double stack here. So I've got my game stack, and then I have a secondary stack with Eckler versus Devonta. I have $32 left over for a running back and a flex. I can already tell you who my choices are. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I'm 100% leaving this in here today. I love Yahoo, man. I love it. All right, let's go back to Study Hub here. Gainwell. So I told you guys to avoid that last week. You knew it wasn't going to go the right way, right? Everybody knew. And he didn't end up being chalky. The industry was a little bit smarter about it. In years past, when you see these 5K running backs get popped in there as a starter, so to speak, they often get jacked up in ownership. His ownership stayed semi-low last week. Everyone was slightly worried about like Boston Scott. No one was really worried about Jordan Howard, but apparently they should be. This is definitely going to be a three-headed backfield. I'm not there. I could care less about any of it. Dallas Goedert at 4.5, 6.2, and $20. Only really like him on DraftKings at 4.5, so I don't mind that at all if you want to have him in there involved in this type of stack. And then on the other side really is where I'm targeting the quarterback. Give me Justin Herbert, man. Give me Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler on DraftKings. I love that three-player PPR stack, honestly. Keenan Allen, 10-plus targets any given week. Austin Eckler, honestly, could get 25 touches any given week because of his PPR equity. That stack itself ends up being 21.6K. That is not too bad to have that wrapped up in 3 players. You could have Dallas Goedert in there as the tight end in that stack, or even Devonta at 5.2, and that's a very affordable DraftKings stack. And again, we already talked about on Yahoo. Super affordable. You can plug that in anytime. Let's make a Monkey Knife Fight little slip here, and then we'll move to the last 3 games on the slate. I am motoring along today as this turned into a solo podcast, as I have done already like 9 hours of solo pods this week. I'm ready to have my teammate back here. Let's slide over. We'll do a nice, healthy 5-player parlay. Let's see if we can find one that we like. By the way, if you use the Monkey Knife Fight promo code DONUTS, look how easy that is. 2 things happen. 2 things actually happen. Let me post this in chat. So that link right there and code DONUTS, if you use that and then you deposit money, you get $100, up to $100 deposit. And then if you play some games today, within 48 hours, you'll get free access to mysparry.com. You'll get free access. NBA, by the way, should start within 48 to 72 hours. NBA picks, by the way, last night, 6-0. I posted them on Twitter for people. I was like, all right, we're firing up the NBA model. We're ready to get it on the website. The NBA picks last night went 6-0. All 6 money line picks. I believe the spreads, had you played it via the spreads, would have went 5-1 yesterday. Crazy. I didn't look at the totals. I think it was, just thinking back on it, I think the totals didn't do as well. But, 11-1 through money line and spreads last night. NBA. Anyways, you get a free month of Sparry. So the rest of November will be free for you if you use the Monkey Knife Fight promo code. All right. So if you look at this today and you're like, yeah, let me try that out. Go over there, deposit $20, get your $20 deposit match, put in your money today, have some fun with it. And then you get a free month of Sparry for NFL, NBA, sports betting, 10,000 Sims model, props picks, props bets, the whole shebang. Plus 31 units on the season, man. There's the photo. 82 and 52 this year. 61.2% win rate, plus 31 units. These are all the graded bets all season. Not too shabby. Now we're adding NBA. It's going to be a fun time. Let's do it. Want to try to do like a 3-pick parlay instead of we usually do like a 10-pick. Let's actually try to win some money here. Let's do this one. I actually like when we have the quarterbacks involved. They always seem to be a little bit easier props wise. I'm going to use the props edges and I'm going to search each person here. Dak, Sparry model has him at 284 passing yards. Vegas consensus actually has him at 276. We're pulling 4 or 5 different books. We average out what his Vegas props are. So 284. All right. And what was Monkey Knife Fight? 270. All right, cool. So we're going more. Let's go Cousins. Oh, Vegas 269. Monkey Knife Fight has him at 270. Sparry 275. That's a very close line, but let's go more. And Jamar Chase, 78.5 receiving yards. Sparry has him at 75.8. So that's just under less. So that's a 3-pick. So what this does over here on Monkey Knife Fight. What's up, Vu? Good to see you, brother. So what this does over here on Monkey Knife Fight is, depending on the contest you've selected, it tells you what the prize will be. Prize 5 times, prize 6 times. So this one would be a pick 3 correctly 5 times your buy-in. And then you scroll to the bottom, and whatever money you choose, you would get that amount. So $20 in, 5 times that is $100. Make sense? Give me a second here. Responding to a staff member. See, here's the thing now. So because I do not have because I do not have Beastie here live, the stuff I usually do on the side, like run my business, run both businesses, I have to do it while I'm live. So just bear with me for a second here, all right? Going to answer a question. All right, where'd that go? Crap. I was going to place that one. Less, more. Boom. All right. And I like it. I'm going $20. That is a $100 return if I nail it. Boom. Let's go. Let's freaking go. You guys can check out the link if you want. Again, remember, you get a free month of mysparry.com, betting, props, 10,000 sims, NBA, NFL. You get the free rest of November if you use promo code Donuts. I got a bunch of live season-long ones, which is pretty fun. Look at all these live season-long. Wild. Big returns. And then I just put that new one in. Let's do another one. We'll do the late slate. So that way I have two things in action today. We'll keep it smaller again today. Oh, shoot. Let's go. Just 2 picks. 3.6 times my buy-in. Let's get it. Tyreek Hill, 85.5 receiving yards against Green Bay. Our model has him at 82.8. Wow, man, that's a really close line. I don't feel comfortable there. Let's do another contest. Davante and Kelsey. I just want to stay away from that game. I just don't feel good about it. Goddard, 56.5. 45.4. Let's go less. And then let's look at Keenan Allen. 68.5 is the Vegas consensus. Spartism at 65. So we'll go less as a $72 3.6 times return. Bang. Got another one in there. And let's add one for nighttime. Sunday Night Football, Tennessee and the Rammies. Let's go a 3x3 here. All right, Stafford, Tannehill, and Cup. This is going to be a faster pace, higher scoring game. I'm going more and more for Cup and Stafford. I don't even want to. I feel like I don't even need to look this up. Yeah, Sparry model has a Stafford at 315, Cup at 105, and then Tannehill 263. What is the line? Oh gosh. I mean, my first inclination is that he's going to have to throw more yards without Derrick Henry, right? There. Let's do it. Put in 3 picks today. Got an early slate pick, got an afternoon slate, and a nighttime slate. So now I've got skin in the game across the board. Already posted my underdog one, posting these in Monkey Knife Fight. These are super fun, man. Picks, pick 'em, all this type of stuff. This is the new wave of being able to play different types of DFS and sports betting opportunities in your own way, shape, or form while you're also doing DFS on the side. Again, let me post the link here in the chat. Gives us something to do. Gives BC a chance to come back and finish up with us. There's the promo code Donuts and deposit money, play money today. And then within 48 hours, you'll have free access to patreon.com/Sparry, where all I basically do over there is post a password, which you then use to go over to mysparry.com, and you get to use the NBA 10,000 Sims betting model, projections, player projections, Monkey Knife Fight, prize picks. You can use the projections for underdog, all sorts of stuff for NFL, NBA, MLB. So give it a look. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a really fun way to play DFS. You can use this. I know that people use this for teamriserfall.com. They use this in conjunction with ROF to help them with their DFS and vice versa. They use Rise or Fall in conjunction with sports betting. So I think there's many different ways to use this stuff. Anyways, give that a look. Let's go back to the study hub. We've got 3 games remaining on the main slate. We've got Vegas on the road to New York against the Giants. I think there are some game stacking opportunities here in this one. Let's sort everybody. You know, Devontae Booker, the highest priced player over there, 5'9". We still have another week here without Saquon Barkley. He is getting a lot of work. I do like Devontae Booker myself. I think the opportunity is pretty fantastic against the Raiders, who have not been anything special on defense this year. They have not been good against opposing running backs. In fact, the Raiders are giving up 131 rushing yards per game this year. Devontae Booker has a spot here today. And on the other side, Josh Jacobs against the Giants giving up 123 rushing yards per game. Both defenses, nothing special. Vegas giving up just under 24 points per game, and the Giants giving up 25 points per game. When you look at the defense itself, too, and we're looking at the main slate, look at the teams against opposing running backs, and it's much of the same. We've got the Raiders right here and the Giants underneath them. Raiders giving up 20.8 points per game to opposing running backs. Giants giving up 20.49 points per game to opposing running backs. So I think both running backs today actually both in play for me, and I like the price tags for both. Josh Jacobs, 6'2". Devontae Booker, 5'9". On FanDuel, Booker 6'3". On FanDuel, Jacobs 7'2". A little bit harder to swallow, but check out Yahoo. Let's go look at it. So Devontae Booker here, my friends. There he is, $15. $15 for a guy who's getting a fair amount of opportunity here, 16, 12, 14, 15 carries in each. And then look at the touches, 3, 4, 2, 5. So a combined last 4 games, 19 touches, 16 touches, 16 touches, 20 touches. And the points have been solid, 19, 8, 0.9, 13, and 15. That is a $15 play over there. Super affordable. You know, you do something like that, then, I mean, why the heck won't you pay up for like the Bills defense today? You've got the money to do so. You still got a ton of money left over to go ahead and get yourself whatever the best flex play is left that you like. And that actually might be something I do right here where I can plug in the Bills. Let's see here. I still have $38 left over at flex. I mean, I'm picking whoever I want at this point. You could still go Devontae now if you wanted to go Devontae. I'm not doing that, but you could do that. Man, you have so much money left over. There's so many different ways to build lineups over there. Golly. Getting sidetracked, though. Let me go back. What's up, Parrot? Good to see you, man. Buddy, I saw your message last night. I updated the donuts targets in the playbook this morning. Okay, so in the middle of the stream, I wanted to check on the Sparry stuff for the Cardinals. So here's the deal. We have run the model as if Kyler Murray were still in because he's not confirmed out. Vegas is currently, most of their lines across most sportsbook has the line set as if Kyler Murray is out. So there's a massive difference. I would not touch this at all. I would wait until we get confirmation. I would wait until we update it. I'm not touching that. I don't think anybody should either. Okay, so be smart about that. Be careful out there. I'm glad I got an opportunity to look that up. And again, I did that. You know, I had to do that live while I'm streaming, so that's tough. But anyways, yeah, no problem. MVP Eric, appreciate you, brother. Wide receivers, you know, Kadarius Toney's 5.2K, absolutely in play. You know, the when the field is down on him now after he so-called burned them or whatever, I don't care. You know, that's kind of when I'm more interested in playing the guy. So give me some Kadarius Toney. I love him today. I'm going to be using a lot of him. And on the other side for the Raiders, it's only Darren Waller for me. His prices continued to drop on DraftKings. He is 6.2K. Yahoo, he's $20. I love him. We know he's got massive upside. He's going to hit that sooner or later and remind people, and his price will jack all the way back up. Your goal in DFS is to grab these players before they have that explosion and their prices go sky high again. Because here's what a lot of the field will do today. If Waller pops off, they'll be upset about it. Next week, his price will go up a little bit, like 6.8K on DraftKings, $26 on Yahoo, whatever. And they'll be like, yeah, he's back. He's going to start exploding. And they'll use him. What's going to happen? He'll have a bad game. His price will drop again. They won't touch him. The next week, he pops off again. People chase success in DFS. It's the dumbest thing on earth. So don't get caught up in the game log watching. I think that you can, use a guy like Darren Waller today. And if especially with Ruggs out, maybe he becomes that down the middle of the field deep target. I don't know. But if Darren Waller goes 10 for 120 and a touchdown today, you're going to be in small company. I think his ownership's 15% or less across the industry. And I think in most times his ownership at these prices would probably be much freaking higher. I mean, 6.8K. He's 6.8K on FanDuel. I mean, it's just an absolute steal. So anyways, those are the key guys I like in this game. I don't like either quarterback. I like Booker, I like Jacobs, I like Waller, and I like Tony. Other than that, I'm off the rest of the team. I'm off the rest of the game and the players. Minnesota, Baltimore. I love this spot. I think this is solid opportunity for game stacks today. I really do. Let me sort by the teams real quick. I mean, Delvin Cook, 7-7. Yeah, got to be one of my favorite freaking targets on DraftKings this week. I love it. And I buried the lead here, and I kept seeing his name and the price on Yahoo while I was talking about it. He's going to be one of my favorite picks on Yahoo today at $30. Listen, did he pop off last week in his return? No. But you know what we saw from him? Opportunity, baby. He came back, that 1 week, 29 carries, came back this past week, had 18. He's healthy. He's healthy. This is a guy who has 25 touch upside every single week. And my favorite part about him every week is he's a carry away from taking it 75 yards to the house, right? And Baltimore Ravens giving up 21 points per game to opposing running backs. You go look at how they do against opposing running backs. Baltimore Ravens are giving up 123.5 rushing yards per game as well. Where are they? 120 rushing yards per game as well. So I like this spot for Minnesota. I like the spot for Dalvin Cook. And on the other side, Baltimore in a pristine matchup through the air. The Vikings only giving up 86 yards rushing per game. All right. It's not like you can invest your money into a Ravens running back, but what you can do is invest into their passing game. So I love the stack of Baltimore wide receiver, tight end with Lamar. We're talking like Marquise Brown, Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson, and then Dalvin Cook on the other side. I love it. I think it's a phenomenal upside type stack. When you go look at their ownerships, Lamar Jackson, super high owned on DraftKings, understandably so at 7-3. Tremendous matchup today. His price has been fantastic. What a price tag at 7-4. I mean, he can have a bad game and still get there easy. His rushing upside gets him there. And if he throws a couple touchdowns, I think you're looking at a 30-plus point game today. I really do. The only issue here is that you're starting to pay a premium for these guys. Not Marquise Brown at 6K. I think he's still absolutely in play. Look at targets this year. He's been fantastic. But, Mark Andrews, where is he? 6'2" this week, right? Might even be higher. I excluded him. 5'5". No, he's in play. What was it? FanDuel? Hold on. Let me look at FanDuel prices. Maybe it's FanDuel where I hated all of them. Yeah, Lamar 8-3. Marquise 7-7. Ugh. And then Andrew 7-1. It's FanDuel where you don't want them. Yeah. Okay. So, and then Dalvin Cook 8-8. That's right. So I'm not touching them on FanDuel, but on DraftKings, there it is. 7-3, 6K, and 5-5. And then you could plug in Delvin on the other side. Like, let's freaking go. I love this stack. 13, 18, 25, 7, 26, $26,500. I think you have upside of like 100 points. Legitimately have 100-point upside in that 4-player stack on DraftKings. That is gorgeous. And on Yahoo, listen, we've already shown a million players that have, solid upside. They're cheap. They're affordable. Booker's here. Sutton, Devonta, Albert. Let me try to Kuwabanam, all right, at $10. So you can remove these players. You can plug in let me do it real quick so you can see it. Baltimore, Minnesota. This is a fine stack. I'm going to leave Albert in there. He's just so cheap. Marquise Brown's 23. I mean, Justin Jefferson, $25. Running it back on the other side. If you don't want Mark Andrews, leave an Albert in there. Plug in Delvin. And I'm solid there. I like this. Jefferson's only 25. That's crazy. Has one bad game. Jefferson, one of the highest ceilings on the entire slate any given week. Goodness gracious. I mean, it gets kind of pricey over there on Yahoo. I don't know how much I like that one. Because as soon as you plug in Mark Andrews, you're kind of taking away the best value on the entire slate, in my opinion. Albert, okay. I just kind of if I'm doing a single lineup today, I'm just plugging in the value, man. I'm just going to plug it in. And if I'm not paying for him, I'm probably paying for Schultz today. He's probably my second favorite option over there on Yahoo. Anyways, so it's DraftKings for me, not on FanDuel, and I like them, I guess, a little bits and pieces on Yahoo today. Last one, New England, Carolina. Another spot where I just could care less about it. I just could care less. I'm tired. There are so many games today that just suck. I'm going to have so much. And by the way, in my playbook, I wrote it I'm targeting only a few quarterbacks this week. There are a fair amount of quarterbacks that are in play. I'm not going to pretend like there are not some good ones. There are 6 or 7 I do like. But even out of my 6 or 7 quarterback pool, I'm going to narrow it down to I'm trying to do 3 quarterbacks today on DraftKings. Out of those 3 quarterbacks for my 150 max, I'm going to try to do 50 of each. My goal is to have one of those stacks go nuclear. Just one quarterback out of my 3 needs to pop off. 30, 35 points, stacks erupt. And then I've got 50 lineups with a chance to win a tournament rather than hoping I get, 7 Mac Jones stacks and hoping 2 of them do well. 14 Justin Herberts, and I hope 7 of them do well. No. I'm just going 50 on this guy, 50 on this guy, 50 on this guy. If 2 of them do great, if 2 of those 3 quarterbacks pop off, well, then I feel like I have 100 opportunities to win a tournament at that point. So that's what I'm doing this week. I've narrowed down my quarterbacks. I talked about it in the Donuts Playbook, the premium article on the website yesterday, and the final thoughts. I'm narrowing down my pool. I'm going to be very tight on who I'm targeting. And this Carolina-New England game, my friends, I want nothing to do with it. Nothing. Legitimately nothing. There's not a single piece in this game I'm touching. Carolina-New England defense. I'll play them both today probably. But that's it. The rest, everyone else is out of play. They're off the board for me. Nobody moves the needle. What type of upside are we looking at here? I mean, this is probably going to be a slow, low total game. The pass run ratios, nothing special. Average plays per game, they're okay. Both defenses are very good. 20 points per game just about for both. What's going to happen here? It's not going to be pretty, is it? Watch. I mean, this is the DFS game that goes for 38-35 and final score, but I'm not touching it. I'm just not doing it. I'm narrowing my pool down. I talked about it all day. I'm narrowing my pool down. There's only a handful of quarterbacks I like. I'm going from there. I got to put that one stack back in real quick. Is it Dallas? I'll do it after. Anybody a favorite FanDuel stack? Let's do this. Rapid fire questions, Q&A. And I'm actually just going to cut the stream short today. I have no beastie. He's the reason why the stream usually goes 2.5 hours. I went 1.5 on my own. He talks a ton, usually makes it super easy. I've already done solo streams for 9 hours this week. I'm done with the solo stream on a Sunday morning. I've done I did an hour and a half yesterday. I did an hour for each of the other 4 or 5 streams throughout Monday through Friday. You guys can catch us live every single day at 1 o'clock Eastern right here on YouTube. So hit that like button. If you're watching the stream, by the way, if you could hit the like button for me, that would be extremely helpful. Had to use that little video clip. I feel so good about it. So hit the like button before you leave today. Hit the sub button if you've never been here before. There's a YouTube video for Sunday Night Football created by Beastie. He does a lot of my video uploads. I do all the live streams, and we try to make quality free content out there for people. If you want to get in our Discord and if you want to join our family, I do not blame you. It's less than $1 per day. Less than $1 per day. And it's right there. I posted that link in the chat. And I'm going to post the Sparry 10,000 Sims model in chat. Go ahead and check them both out. Hopefully I see you in Discord. I'm actually going to simply just back out at this point, my friends. It has been a busy morning. I have a lot to do on my own right, especially without Beastie here to help out. So I'm going to do the best that I can for my fam inside Discord on the website. Going to make sure everything's firing on all cylinders. I'm going to leave you with this today. Less is more. We've been talking about that all freaking week. 2 weeks of streams. In fact, if you go back and you watch yesterday's YouTube stream, go ahead and watch it on 2 times speed today. You have an opportunity to make a lot of money. This is not just an NBA thing. This is also an NFL thing. Less is more. Get out of your own way. Let the projections work for you. Let FC work for you and go make some money. The more you tweak things, more often than not, you have just said, I don't trust what I've purchased. I don't trust what I've invested into. And then I need to do all sorts of things, be a puppet master. And you end up tweaking yourself out of money. Make sure when you are using this content, using these tools, using that software, that you trust it. Do the best you can while you are kind of creating your advanced groups. You're creating your advanced options. Set everything up. But from there, after you do your settings, upload those dang projections, those ratings, those ownerships, those metrics, and just use them, okay? Don't get too far off the beaten path to try to be so unique that you end up being so suboptimal that you lose money. I see it each and every week. People are saying, I wish I did so much less. Oh, I thumbed down, these 17 guys. That's too much. That's too much, especially if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner user, a beginner player, try to be more optimal. I'm not saying you need to be like pure optimal cash game throughout, but try to be more optimal. It's a very strong way to allow yourself to figure out the way to the promised land. From the optimal spot, you make little pivots, ownership pivots, price point pivots. Remember the options I talked about in the beginning. Player A versus player B, 22% ownership versus 9% ownership. Player projection on the 2 is a differential of 2 points. Player A was 22 points projected with a 25% ownership. Player B, 20-point projection, that's only 2 less. And if his ownership is at 8%, that's a third of the ownership. He's the better play. You can do little things like that throughout the rest of your lineup, still be semi-optimal by doing that, and find yourself in a victorious way, shape, or form. I got to go, my friends. I got stuff to focus on. It's been a long, tough morning. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all for being here. I'll see you at 1 o'clock. We'll do some lineup study and lineup rewind. We'll review the Week 9 games. We'll review some NBA, and I hope somebody finds some serious money today. I'll see you on the inside. Take care, my friends. Fortune favors the bold.